Hello and welcome to the Black Mind Podcast. My name is Jeff Rock and I'm here with the greatest crew imaginable. Joining me this week, Josh.
Hey!
Joining me also this week is Allan.
Sup?
Not much.
There is something that's funny that I have to talk about this week. Although it literally happened today.
Is it the Joe Rogan Experience Twitter fiesta?
Not that. That's something else we got to talk about.
Oh,
because holy fuck, that was hilarious. No, this thing is about Captain Marvel.
Oh boy, I can't wait for.
All I have to do is giggle at something because initially on Thursday morning when I got up and I was sitting at home relaxing, I flicked onto Twitter and I saw a bunch of Twitter posts saying, "Yeah, I'm not posting my review related to Super Captain Marvel because it'll feed the incels." And I was like, okay, who is this person? Oh, it's a professional reviewer for Rotten Tomatoes. Okay.
Can I briefly interject here?
Sure.
If you're concerned about feeding the incels, you're probably feeding the incels.
Oh yeah.
You're probably catering to them by doing that. Say.
No, the thing that got me that made me laugh really hard actually was as of today, because again, effectively the movie's only been out for a couple hours, basically 24 hours at this point. So people started posting the reviews online, and it fucking tanked hard. They had 58,000 reviews, and it had a score of 38%. Or no, sorry, 34%.
That's a low number.
But that's not the funny part.
What's the funny part?
As of a couple hours ago, Rotten Tomatoes deleted a bunch of the reviews.
Oh no!
To bump the score up by 4%.
No.
Do you know how much they bumped it up by?
100?
4%.
Oh.
Jeez. So even if those 50,000 accounts are actually 100% guaranteed, those were trolls.
Yeah.
Who cares? You know what? If that is actually the case, go for it. If those are bots and stuff like that doing downvotes, bad reviews and stuff like that, fine, whatever. But what does it say if out of 4,000 people who've commented on the movie since that they left up, and it's still left at 38%? I'm curious. I'm gonna go look this up now. I'm curious at what it's at now.
Here's the problem.
It is the second fucking. Oh my god.
What?
Why is it every time a company is like, "Oh no, this thing we put online is negative. We should delete things." It's it never works out ever.
No, it doesn't.
As of right now.
Okay.
It's at 40%. It's at 51%.
Okay.
So it's so they've given yeah.
So it's a shitty Marvel movie.
It's the first shitty Marvel movie. It's probably be one of the.
It's the first certifiable shitty Marvel movie next to Iron Man 2.
I disagree with that, but anyways.
I would disagree with that too, but
But the thing is a lot of people have been Rotten Tomatoes, what the fuck's going on? What happened to 54,000 fucking reviews?
It's almost as if that okay, I'm just gonna propose something. I'm gonna say it, and it's gonna be conspiratorial. Okay? It's almost as if there was a lot riding on this movie, and then now it's not going to do the gangbusters that they needed to do, and it's almost as if that they hired the wrong actress who fed into something that really shouldn't be fed into. Almost as if. It's also almost as if that people shouldn't care about a stupid movie that has been generally lackluster.
Yeah, I was very disinterested in the movie when it got announced and stuff like that.
Oh, because there's no movement in the character.
No.
Okay. Like, you watch the trailer, you know what's going to happen. You know that Brie Larson's going to accomplish her goals. You know that she's going to punch a granny, and you're like, okay, whatever.
No, it's not even that. Another thing. Somebody actually did bring this up, of how, like, apparently the actress for this movie.
Yeah.
Is already potentially being recast.
Oh.
That's a rumor. That's something I've heard. I have no confirmation on it yet. I saw a single Twitter post about it. Although I do know for a fact that you know that scene in Captain America 2?
Yeah.
Where he's like, last time I trusted somebody, I lost an eye.
Yeah.
That scene has no meaning anymore.
Oh.
Because apparently this movie overwrites it.
Oh.
Yup.
Oh.
Yeah.
So they should have made it so that she betrayed Fury and then caused him to... Okay, that would have made sense.
Yep. But hey, whatever.
Honestly,
as of right now, I don't intend to see a Captain Marvel. I'm really just disinterested in it. And it's not even for political reasons. I've looked at the movie and I was like, nope, I'm not up for this because it doesn't look at all interesting.
Okay.
I do know that I'm probably might be seeing Shazam just because that is, like, Shazam's one of my favorite DC characters, and I kind of want to see what they fuck up and what they do well with. I also am going to be probably seeing Lego Movie here probably this.
We should see the Lego Movie.
We should.
We should go see the Lego Movie. It would be a good time. But yeah, like, a lot of people have been very suspect recently of the massive change in Captain Marvel's fucking audience rating. I am going to make one comment about Captain Marvel, and that is the comment that movie is not designed to appeal to me, and I don't like Marvel movies to begin with. Actually, no, I shouldn't say that. There are good movies, but there are movies that have a formula, and it feels like as if this time the only person who actually ever did something with the formula was who plays Happy in Iron Man.
Happy?
Yeah, Happy. Tony's bodyguard.
Oh, fuck! I have no idea, but I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, so Tony's bodyguard, like, had really good movies, made really good movies, Iron Man movies and stuff like that. Then they got Shane Black to do a movie for him and stuff like that, and that one's a good Iron Man movie. And then they did more movies with Captain America, and they were okay. They were not that great. Let's be honest, they were okay. They're not that great. And then now we have Captain Marvel, and it's like, I see what you're doing. I don't like it.
Actually, a really interesting thing too is,
Go ahead.
The thing is like, I get what this movie was politicized from the start, and then Alita: Battle Angel came out, and a lot of, like, people were like, this is how you do a good character. This is how you do a good, like, action character. You write them as a person. You don't write them as, like, I'm a woman and I'm empowered and da-da-da. You don't bring politics into movies that don't need that aren't about politics. But, like, you can see this recently with a lot of Disney stuff. Like they're trying to push their politics into a lot of things, and it's ruining it for them because like people boycotted Solo because of episode 8. Captain Marvel has had a huge backlash because of the actress, because of like their advertisement ad system and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's been like a lot of fucked up bullshit that's gone on, and like and this is actually like what Disney, like I really do believe that like this is kind of on Disney's fault. Like they need to sort out and like not try and push a political agenda on anything.
But it's
they should
not
just
even.
let movies...
But it's not even Disney, really. It's their underlings.
It's
the underlings underneath Bob Iger. Who,
yeah, I guess.
Because the underlings are sitting there and they don't understand that, like, here, let me explain to you something very important that most people don't understand about how to market a product and how to sell a product. Like, to nerds, the easiest way to sell us a product is sit there and say, this is cool, and show us cool shit. Show us a car getting cut in two, and stuff like that. It's not talking down to people and stuff like that. So it makes sense that when you talk down to somebody, they would get upset. And it makes sense that, like, when stuff like this is happening, like Brie Larson sitting there saying, I notice a lot of white males. It's not because of Brie Larson that Captain Marvel is doing poorly. It's because of people around Brie Larson who sit there and don't tell her, maybe don't say that.
Yeah.
It's because of people who don't understand that you like sometimes having a disagreement with someone is not the worst thing in the world. But there's a time and place to disagree. I disagree with Allan all the time. I disagree with Josh all the time. There are things I don't agree with people all the time. Noah, I sat there and me and him had a massive conversation about stupid shit. Okay? This is normal. Okay? It's not the worst thing in the world when you have to like go like, huh.
Yeah.
So it's like it's not even like a big deal when like people are doing that. It's just that like people don't understand that like saying no. Okay, maybe I'm not going to say this online and stuff like that. Like just don't. Just don't. Just don't. You're going to make like everything a lot better if you just don't.
Yep.
So yeah, anyways, I am sorry for hijacking your topic and stuff like that. But I think that a lot of the things that you're saying are completely right. It's people and like it is Disney. It is Disney who is making the mistake. And I can understand that why it's pissing you off and stuff like that.
It's not that it's pissing me off. It's more just frustrating. It's kind of like make good movies and the fans will come to you. That's all you need to do. And Disney has not been about that at all in like recent years.
Not lately.
Don't worry. They have so many properties and IP that they'll never learn from their problems ever.
Oh, well, it's going to depend.
Just turn out shit after shit after shit after shit, and they go, man, we still have all the money, and we own everyone by Iron Fist, but man, there's like no soul in anything anymore. What's going on? It's just like, oh, it's a desert here. Interesting.
I am so
actually. What's really funny is their own original IPs in the past few years, like Zootopia, Frozen, Tangled. Moana and like these like those shows like they fucking are like really really good for the most part. Like sure they have some like flaws about them. Every movie has some flaws. Even I'll say that. But like they did a good job with like when they had to do product that had to be like of their own. And when they do their own product that isn't like source material related with a big fandom and stuff like that, they do a phenomenal job without fucking it up because they create a world and they show off stuff. and they make something of their own, which is the way they should be doing it. But the Marvel MCU is like, I don't know.
All over the place.
Not even just all over the place, just weird.
They have a weird agenda.
Yeah, it feels like they've got a weird agenda.
I just think I found the image for this week's podcast.
Oh.
Your ancestors watching you jack off to anime cat girls. I'm going to post it now. And Allan's going to feel sad.
I'm not going to feel sad. I'm going to laugh.
If the thing is, if they're witness me do with that, it's like, why? You could do anything right now.
Right?
Why?
Why would you not?
Do you care at all?
Don't you think that that's fun in order to witness somebody jack off to anime cat girls?
Oh, man, I have so many questions and no answers.
Also, Bungie celebrated. Also, today is International Women's Day.
Yep.
I'm not going to make a comment, but I am going to say Happy International Women's Day.
Andrew, what's his face from Giant Bomb's face? Oh, Drew, sorry.
Sorry, the ultimate human being, the person that once he left, there was no reason to watch Giant Bomb anymore.
Funny thing is, he still shows up once in a while, just like only if the schedule is like good.
But like, here's the thing: it's like I would rather give him money than watch any of their premium content anymore. And it's like nothing against them as like a group of people or anything like that. It's just that like, I lost interest. I moved on. I went and found other things.
Yep.
Right. Also, today's International Women's Day, and I, quite frankly, have a few choice words to say. Of like, Happy International Women's Day. It's very important that we celebrate International Women's Day.
Oh man, I learned that it was International Women's Day this morning, and I was just like, oh well, it's just another Friday.
That's entirely like what most of us are like. Is like we're just like, whatever.
I get a giggle out of the like I love Twitter when it fucking happens though, because they're just like, International Women's Day, take pride in these women. It's like, why though?
Well, like, and then you have a bunch of people who are just sitting there being like, we're celebrating International Women's Day. Yeah. We're totally celebrating International Women's Day. And then like maybe it's the difference in like gender, but men don't give a shit about International Men's Day.
Oh, we don't have an International Men's Day.
No, we do.
We do.
But nobody talks.
But we don't.
But nobody celebrates it.
No, it's not even Father's Day. It's an actual International Man's Day, and every year that it comes around, it's immediately mocked by every woman.
Yeah. It's like,
what makes it even better is the fact that most men hear about International Men's Day, they shrug their shoulders, go okay, and then they keep moving on.
Because most of us don't care about a stupid fucking holiday.
Yeah,
like most of
it's not even holiday.
It's not even like you get pay time off or anything like that. Like, here's the thing, I'm gonna say something probably very sexist, very mean. But you know that protest that happened a few days ago where it was like, a few years ago, where it was like, hey, we're going to do a protest, and we're going to protest something.
Yep.
We're going to protest it. And it was like, okay, yeah, cool. And they're like, we're going to leave work for a day. Okay, cool. Yeah, fine, fantastic. Okay. And then everyone's like, yes, this is a great idea. And then basically people mock them horribly and stuff like that.
Yep.
I personally would have just paid them. And then on International Men's Day, I would just have tell all the men that they're getting a paid day off work.
Yeah.
Because that seems like the way to do it. It's like your specific gender's holiday. I don't care enough in order to like have an argument, so just take it off. It's just not worth it. Like, I'll give you pay. It's more symbolic, if anything. Because, like, both sexes do a lot of things for a lot of different people.
Yep.
And, like, it's not even, like...
Actually, I got a bit of a giggle out of something earlier this week. All right, sorry, last week. And it was a meme initially, and it was a bit of a meme that was going around. And it's like women want equal rights and stuff like that.
They don't want equal.
And someone was like, so the question was, well, will you join the draft if you guys ever have to if you ever guys want to take the same responsibilities? And a lot of women are like, no, we don't have to take that responsibility. And then I think a week ago, somebody brought up the fact in Congress. Hey, so how come men, as their constitutional responsibility to have the right to vote, have to be part of the draft, but women don't? So it sparked quite a bit of debate, and so a lot of people were like, "Oh, look, equal rights, equal responsibilities. Welcome to the real world, ladies and gentlemen." And I was just like, "Oh, the meme has become a thing. Shit."
I'm going to say something, and people are going to like what I say because I'm going to be nice, and it's going to be funny.
That depends.
Okay. Number one, legally, men and women should be exactly the same. Okay?
Yeah.
Right?
Before the law, yes.
For the law. Okay? Legally speaking, if you have okay, let me put it like this. If me and Josh go commit a crime, let's say we go steal an ATM machine and take all the money and then gamble it on black. Okay? We just did.
Man, that's a fun night.
Yeah, that's a great night, Josh. We should do that tomorrow.
Yeah.
On blackjack on blackjack and hose.
Yeah, blackjack, crack, cocaine, and hose. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So okay, now if a woman does that, they should get the exact same punishment as me and Josh.
Yep.
Right. Okay. That doesn't work out that way. You see the give and take, though, because on average, some people make more money than others.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Okay. I'm sorry, like in an emergency and stuff like that, when they say women and children first, I would like to get on the lifeboat and stuff like that. Why do I have to be the one who stays and dies? Like, that's the stuff that like annoys me greatly. Is like, as soon as like any ball-bearing feminist with the bluest hair and stuff like that, who sits and says like, we want equal rights and stuff like that. As soon as like a crisis actually happens, they immediately put them into pigtails and they act like the biggest girl ever.
Yep.
And they immediately act like, sometimes they'll even act like as the biggest sluts, too. Like, whatever gets me whatever gets me out of this situation, I will do. And it's
the fastest and the safest.
And the safest and stuff like that. And it's like, I understand that, like, you think that society has pushed you down a lot and stuff like that, but, like, there are people in construction who probably don't have arms and legs anymore. There are people in construction who probably have injuries and stuff like that. Okay? It's like some of the highest paying jobs are exclusively worked by men, and they don't see their families for 6 months out of the year. And stuff like that. And in the case of the military, some of them don't come home. Like what? What's the percentage? Like 90% of combat deaths are men? That's a lot of people dying, man. So it's like, it makes sense that, like, I understand that you want equal rights and stuff like that. That's a noble goal. But it's like, there's a cleaner way of doing it. And sitting there and complaining about not having them, and then sitting there and then immediately saying, well, we shouldn't have to join the draft, immediately makes somebody like me go, huh. Ironic. And that's just my opinion. I'm thinking that there's something wrong with the recording because nobody's responding and interrupting me. And
it's like, well, on my end, it's a bit fudged up on the server, but that's about it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sweet. So yeah, basically, that's like basically my big issue and stuff like that. Is like, I think that, like, if you're going to sit there and you're going to say that men and women are equal, and then they should not be a part of the draft, I'm sorry, but we have two different conversations going on here, and they're both very stupid. Because quite frankly, there's a give and take that needs to go on, and quite frankly, that give and take is really important. Um, the reason why men make 77 cents more on the dollar, and I know that's wrong, Alan. I know it's wrong.
Well, okay. Actually, the number I keep seeing float around is 84 or 76 or. And you know what makes it funny is in my sociology class, we actually had this discussion earlier this week about like, oh, well, why do women make less than men? And it's like, well, women don't go into the same jobs as men, so they don't actually are going into the higher paying job. And on top of that, women also take things like maternity leave and also tend to work less hours. And I was like, wow, the teacher's fucking nailing this on the fucking nose because I looked across the room because I know for a fact that there's
in
one
the room and they're just like
no. Actually, my room is like surprisingly fucking centered. But I know there's one feminist who sat there, heard this, and fumed for a moment. And then the teacher said the next thing, which I don't 100% agree with, but I understand why he has to say it. And on top of that, the third reason would be sexism at times. It still happens. And I'm like, that is the way to say it. It isn't always the problem of like sexism and stuff like that. But the thing is that like the first two are the primary reasons. And like I actually know that there's technically a fourth reason, and that is women don't negotiate as often as men do for like what they get paid.
Can we?
And like but like we this is actually fairly common. Like women won't like they're not as confrontational as men. Like I know for a fact when I initially got hired with my current job, my boss said, "How much do you want to get paid?" I said, "I want $16 an hour." My boss looked at me. He's like, "I would love to be able to pay you that." And I was like, "Well, okay, here comes minimum wage." And he's like, "I'm going to give you $20 an hour." I'm like, "Oh, what?" He's like, "Yeah, I can't pay you anything less than $20 an hour." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, I'm okay with this." And like that's the thing is like if you want the gender earnings gap, and that's what people should be calling it. It shouldn't be a gender pay gap. It should be gender's earning gap. You need to do three things. You need to move into fields where the money is there, but it's still tough, hard work. So like road construction, mathematics, like hard physical labor, like low end. It's gonna destroy your body to do this job. The second thing is to diversify your guys' portfolio, because a lot like we already know statistically that women are more likely to go into like the soft sciences and teaching and nursing and stuff like that, rather than like doctorate degrees, mechanical sciences or hard sciences such as like proper biology, physics, and like earth sciences and stuff like that. It like the numbers aren't there. Like it's statistically, you can see like it's a reversed X where women tend to work in like you see women tend to work more in like the soft things where they deal with people more often, such as sociologists, social like workers, stuff like that. It's because women tend to have better social skills than men, and they're better at reading people than men. I hate to break it to you, ladies, but you're better at that than us. And there's a reason for this, because you guys tend to raise children. It's almost encoded into you be able to read someone, because if you couldn't read someone when you have a kid, your kid's screwed. Because that means you aren't able to read a kid. And that's the reason why like women tend to have better social skills. It's the reason why you didn't develop them better than us. It's not to say that some men don't develop these kind of social skills, because you can see that in the same work fields that you see men show up in, like elementary school teachers, junior high school teachers, social workers, nurses. You see them all show up there. But men tend to be more related to things. They like to figure out things. They like to like work out the maths. This like if you give a guy a like a Rubik's cube or like something like he has to figure out, he'll be fine with it for like a couple hours. A girl might not, but like again, like that's the thing is like it's relatively like 90-10%, 90 to 10 that guys will end up preferring things over people, and 90 to 10 that women will prefer people over things. I give that 10%, and that's like sketchy. Give or take, give maybe like another 15% at most. But like that's the thing you like people need to realize is that like there are reasons for this. It's the reason like we know that like men are like it's been psychologically proven that men are more towards things. And another fun fact is that men are less agreeable than women. And the reason why we know this is because men are more likely to negotiate straight up and down for their pay than a woman.
Yeah.
And I agree, like no, like you shouldn't have to super negotiate super hard to get a better paying job. But when the guy goes in and negotiates straight off the bat, and a woman goes in and doesn't do that, well, there's going to be discrepancies in the amount they earn over the year. So like, that's the thing is that's how I.
But Allan, there was recent news that a feminist company named Google had to increase male wages because they did an audit and found that.
Yeah, I heard. I gotta laugh at that, and I stopped myself, but I was like, I don't think I should laugh at this.
It was so. I have never.
The irony was real.
Was...
Is what you're trying to say.
Yeah. Like, I'm sorry, Joe.
Like I saw that headline and I was just like, oh my word, how is that a thing?
Oh, it's because they sit there and they like here. Okay, Josh, I'm going to ask you a quick question. Okay.
Right.
Okay. Josh, you get hired at this company. Okay.
Okay.
You make $45,000 a year. Okay. And you negotiate for that $45,000 a year. Okay.
I did a good job. Yeah.
Okay. Then you find out that they actually are paying you less than your female colleague.
Okay. Is this female colleague higher than me in
No,
stature?
they're the same level as you.
Okay.
And the only reason why you're getting paid less than them is because they instantly offered her $47,000.
Just, I don't know, were they desperate at the time?
No, they just offered it to her.
Okay.
In order to balance out something. Okay? So you're sitting there and you're just like, well, okay. And then you find out that you get a raise to $47,000 just because they did an audit and found out they were paying men less.
Oh, I'll be like...
Not just less, significantly less.
Like 20, 30% less. And it's like, why? Why?
Mm.
And what makes it even funnier is when I learned about that, my response to that was like, wow.
It's amazing how when you try to fix a problem and don't actually try and fix the
understand what the problem is,
how you make it worse.
Yep.
And like
no, that's actually one of the reasons why with
you don't. Well, like here's the thing.
You need to allow society to solve its problems on its own.
Oh, yeah.
It can't be something that's forced. It needs to allow to evolve slowly, carefully, and without force. Sometimes, yes, you need to do force because, like, sometimes it gets so bad that, like conflict is inevitable, and that is something that you have to understand. But the reason why it leads to that point is because people start to force things.
Right.
And it's the reason why liberal democracies don't force much on you. They enforce the laws, but they don't enforce you to do. They don't enforce you to be like obey like. Well, that's the reason why liberal democracy is so important to have free speech, the right to the freedom to right of vote, freedom of expression. Like the tenets of liberal democracies are at least those three things, minimum. And on top of that, it's like that. That's the entire major big point about it is like. For that to be the thing, and this reason why liberal democracies actually progressed incredibly well forward over time, because they're allowed to evolve and change, develop in the way that they need to in relation to the society that they have. That is the reason why they work so well and why they function out or functionally well worked. Because the moment society is allowed to I can say what I want and not risk losing my job because I don't have to worry about my boss having a different political opinion of me and firing me because he disagrees with me, or that I could be arrested for having this political opinion, or that I could be blacklisted because of this political opinion.
Right.
That's the reason why we want liberal democracies. It's the reason why we want liberal, like heck, I wouldn't even mind a liberal empire, because if they still had those tenets, where except with the exception of like voting, that would like still have, that would allow you to have freedom of dissent. That would allow you to have freedom of protest because of freedom of expression, stuff like that. So those things are like, if that was the thing that showed up in a liberal empire, holy shit, that's way better than any empire in the past history. But that's the problem, is what a lot of people don't understand about liberal democracies, is you need to allow these things to happen and allow them to change slowly. You are going to, if you want to bring change, you can bring attention to it, but you should not try and force people to change their opinions based on what you think is right and wrong, because you start to moralize at them, and therefore from that point forth you become the inquisition of what these people say or believe or see. And it's really, really bad.
Oh yeah.
Like, I can't emphasize how bad.
Oh yeah.
It takes usually it takes like, I don't know, quite a bit of convincing / let the kids see what the freaking other shit is out there.
It's actually really funny, because we know in the 1990s and the early 2000s, and I'll say the reason why I say early 2000s all the way up to like maybe 2006, racial tensions between like all the races in like the United States, Canada, Europe were at their lowest ebb since before World War One, which is impressive. I might be exaggerating on like how far back, because I'm not 100% sure, but like they were at their lowest ebb at that point. And the reason why that allowed to happen is because nobody was forcing anything. It was allowed to just change. It was allowed to develop. People started to get to know each other. People stopped like realizing that like it became culturally like more acceptable. Like black people weren't being prosecuted for not being allowed to vote and stuff like that. So like the cultural zeitgeist changed and developed and moved forward, which is the way you want it.
No, like yeah, like it almost seems like Google's trying to do knee-jerk reactions. Which, in other news, the government, the United States government, actually, has decided that it might be a good idea to break up major companies like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Google. You know, problems. It's almost as if these platforms are very negative for each other.
Yep.
If they're gonna break those up, might as well break up the internet companies, because they're shit.
See, here's the problem: is that like AT&T, Sprint, and stuff like that, they're only one half of the problem.
True.
I mean,
just see them getting taken down and peg would be great.
But like, here's the thing: it's like, I would love to see net neutrality come back.
Oh, they're in the works trying to.
But you want to know how you actually make like competition a big thing in the United States? You remove all.
So you put that back in.
No, you remove all of the regulations.
No, do not do that.
No, you have to put those regulations in there, because there's always an evil fuck out there who's gonna ruin everything.
But like, what I mean by that is like you either force competition, and you either make it so that like a company can't like enter into the market, and then like these red tapes and stuff like that, which basically bars other companies from entering other markets and stuff like that. If that makes sense. You either make it easier for another company to enter into a smaller market, or you make it so that other companies can like easily fight it. Like you want to prompt competition and stuff like that.
But regulation is necessary.
Yes.
And I know, like, I hate to break it to you, like, this is the reason why I despise Ben Shapiro, because Ben Shapiro despises regulation.
Oh God.
But the thing is like, you need to have regulation to enforce workers' rights. You need to prevent the trusts. You need to prevent these things. But you also need to have the regulation there for, like, a good example, the internet. Because remember, the only reason why the internet was free for a time being was because they put regulations in the way. and they made the internet a what's it called, a type 4, type 7, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Whatever it's called, where like it's like you can't there's you can't enforce like you can't have monopolies, you can't enforce like fast lanes and stuff like that through what happened with what could have happened with like telephones and stuff like that. They enforced it as like, no, it's like telephone landlines and stuff like that. It's like the water systems. It's like the water, telephone, cable, and internet. Those are the 4 things, and they are utilities now.
Yep.
And so, as such, they can't collude and create like false advertisement, false price checking, and stuff like that. They can't do like government. They can't do shakedowns on like citizens and like smaller companies. And it's the entire point of why you need regulations. It's because it prevents like control and over like bearing. And at the same time, I do understand why people don't want to have regulation present. Like, too much regulation kills business, and I do agree with that. You need to have a healthy balance between the two. That's all I have to say.
I agree and stuff like that. No, like it's the United States has like 2 major problems when it comes to internet companies and stuff like that, and politics. But like one of those problems is that you have basically a 400 by 400 range of the globe that controls 90% of the internet. It's like almost like as if you need you either need to force people to come out of their shell, or you need to break them up and then force competition. And I think that like that's probably going to be the best thing for them moving forward. That's probably going to be the easiest thing for them moving forward as well. Oh my god, my mic's like cutting out like left, right, and center. I'm just going to change something very quickly, okay?
Yep.
I'm just going to change something very, very quickly and stuff like that because Discord is not picking me up all the time. It doesn't appear. This might be a very difficult show to edit, he says sarcastically. So,
freaking bummed out my shoulder today.
How did you do that?
I was getting food from Dairy Queen.
So you were eating. That's bad. You don't do that.
Well,
how dare you?
Yeah, I should not eat.
Yes, you
should put a cork in my hole.
You should starve.
But I was getting food from the Dairy Queen in my smallish town. And I was walking out of the building, and I'm like, all right, got this food, and I'm walking out of the building, and I slipped. And I was like, oh, wait, hold on, maybe I can catch myself. And I'm realizing, no, wait, my arms are full of food. I'm like, I have to eat this the worst way possible. But the funny thing is that as I was walking, it was one of those slips where your one foot is off the ground, the other foot was still in front of you, and that foot just went further front of you for no reason. So you're like, I'm falling back. You can't do anything about it. Your arms are full of shit. You're going to hit dirt, and it's going to hurt so bad. And I fucked my shoulder. Like, oh, God. Like, I don't think it's broken. I think I just sprained a muscle, but oh, it's a bitch. Oh, like every other time I move it, or just be like, I'm gonna lift my arm up and pick this thing up that's like a piece of cardboard on a table. Let's just fuck. Like sometimes I can pick up something, doesn't hurt at all, but once or twice, it just gets sharp pain in my shoulder, and I'm like, fuck me.
Time to go to the doctor, dude.
That's the thing. I don't think I broke anything. It's just a fucking muscle.
Yeah, time to go to a doctor.
Doctors are important, Josh.
Yeah,
because that could be a nerve damage.
Nerve damage bad. Could be better than what? Could be worse. I fell on my arm once and broke it.
How?
I don't know. You did a backflip.
All right, I'll believe that.
Okay, so I got I got one other topic this week that is pretty fucking awesome. And then I think the show will probably go to bed. Because we're bosses like that. So Twitter had a podcast explosion on the Joe Rogan podcast. And I'm sorry, Josh, that you're not talking a lot this week.
We're going to talk about
Oh
this.
boy. Oh boy. Yeah, this is going to be a little bit more political heavy show and stuff like that. We haven't been playing games. Can you tell that two of the people who play games exclusively for the show have not been playing games? It's almost as if we don't have time. It's great. Please send help.
Yeah, it's kind of like how like at my work, freaking one person had to go for a family reunion, so he's not gone for a week.
Yeah.
And then my other coworker is like, "Oh, my mom fucking died. I have to go for a week." And I'm like, "Great. So it's 2 weeks where I'm just fucking work up my butthole."
This week they tried to make me work Thursday. It was great. Yeah, so they were like, you will love to work Thursday. No, I don't. But you would love to work Thursday. No, Skeletor. No, I would not like to work Thursday. Fuck off, Skeletor. But Joe Rogan had Tim Pool and two Twitter execs on his podcast, and I didn't watch the full thing. But I watched a clip, and I could pretty much tell you right off the bat, it seemed like Jack was not in control of Twitter. He
hasn't been in control of Twitter for a long
It seemed
time.
like he is just the figurehead that everyone complains to. And he's okay with his position, and he's accepted it. It seems like Tim went out swinging like almost 20 minutes in. Like, he just started like fuck this. I'm going to ask you hard questions as a journalist.
Oh yeah.
And it's like
he went like, and that's the thing is like the things that, that I've seen. He went in for the throat, and every time he nailed her down, she obfuscated away from it because she was like, no, if I answer that, I'm fucked. But all it did was just prove that like, no, Tim is actually like
a good journalist.
A good fucking journalist. See, I don't. Here's the thing. I haven't watched much of Tim Pool stuff because like it just doesn't appeal to me. But at the same time, I get why people like him.
He could easily do a Philip DeFranco. And just start his own news show. But he kind of is like doing something different. Like he's building a news network on Minds. And he is a very insane journalist. Like he's one of the founding members of Vice, right? So it makes sense that like he is very ethically skilled in terms of like how he acts and stuff like that. But like I love how like that entire show, it seemed like Jack really was just like, I'm along for the what. And like this is something I noticed about Jack too, is like I would watch him for 5 minutes on the Joe Rogan Experience when he was on initially, and he seemed very depressed and very like not very happy and stuff like that.
He seemed like just kind of defeated when he won that podcast.
Yeah. Like it seemed like he was doing it because it was, oh well, this would be the right thing to do and stuff like that. That I wish I was on coke right now. Like,
yeah.
He just seemed that way. And if I had to work with, like, it doesn't seem like this is his company anymore. Like,
probably hasn't been his company for a while.
It seems like as if other people are running it, and he's just the figurehead who gets like shot in the legs and stuff like that. I haven't listened to the full show, so I don't know. But like, Tim literally went for the throat and said, "You guys have liberal biases and stuff like that." And she goes, "Well, like we have like trans people who kill themselves on a rapid pace." And it's like, no. This is a bias. Just say it's a bias. Like, he literally would give them things and say, here's the answer to the question you're looking for. Just say it.
Yep.
And she couldn't say it because saying it might offend somebody and, like, stuff like that.
It would
damage the company.
It would offend somebody, and it would damage the company to an irreparable point.
Like, everyone...
Like, the fact that, and that's the thing is, that like, I will give Tim Pool a lot of credit for that. Because he went in with a fucking knife and went straight for the throat. He was just like, "No, I'm done. Like, this has gone too far. We need, like, you're gonna like answer these questions."
Yeah.
And he held her to like a fucking standard, and I was like, I applaud this.
Well, like, that's...
And it was great.
Yeah. Like, Tim is a very strong, like, journalist and stuff like that. He works very difficult about, he's very strong about how he acts, very courteous and stuff like that. And he also, like, his shows were, like, I find his best work is, like, when he presents both sides of the show. And then he runs a second YouTube channel where he just talks about his opinion. He's just, like, really down to earth and stuff like that. Down to earth, cool, calm, collected. A lot of people could take something from Tim Pool. But he sat there and he basically said, like, this is... Like, he talked about, like, I didn't watch the Sargon one video clip, but I know what's going to be, I kind of understand what's going to be on the side and stuff like that. And it just seems like, as if that, like, again, going back to our previous topic where we talked about Disney and how Disney's been kind of fucked up and stuff like that, it seems like they hired the wrong people.
Yeah.
It seems like they got somebody who, this is the way it should be, this is the reason why it should be this way, and it seems like as if, like, she is irreparably damaging the brand that is Twitter. And Twitter should not be, like, here's the thing. I have not used Twitter very much since going back to school. Okay? I have not used Twitter as much as I used to. I have barely browsed. I use Messenger on Facebook a lot, but I use Facebook for memes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And, like, Reddit's far more convenient for me because I just browse Reddit and stuff like that when I'm bored.
You mean like most people?
Like most sane people, I use Reddit because Reddit's the best social media network because I can be anonymous and be a total jerkwad, and plus I can go into the r/communism subreddit, and then 5 minutes later I can be in the r/democracy subreddit. I can also go to r/Kotaku in action, and then I can go to r/gamergothy or r/feminism.
I worry for you some days.
I can go to any of those subreddits. I most of the time just go to r/Kotaku in action because it seems pretty interesting, and then gaming, PC Master Race, and PC Gaming. And then Neo Gaming, because Neo Gaming tends to have a lot more stuff that's not fan created. And then just for safe measure, I have Tumblr in action and dank memes. And 90% of my front page now is just dank memes. It's great.
Memes. All the memes.
All the memes. I also have Giant Bomb on there because Giant Bomb is... Well, I don't like them anymore. I still like Dan. I still like Jeff. I just don't think that they... I just wish they were less political. And I think that they've been improving that over the time. But still. But yeah, Twitter can be great. And Twitter, like, I was talking to a friend and she was like, yeah, like, Twitter is, like, great because it's basically like a replacement for Tumblr. And I was like, you should get off Twitter. Twitter is not a replacement for Tumblr. Don't think it is. It's a very terrible place. And I think Twitter wants it to be. I think Twitter really wants to be the replacement for Tumblr.
I don't know if that's gonna happen.
I don't think it should, because like I can list of a myriad of reasons why Twitter should not be doing some of the things it does. I think it really obfuscates the conversation when Twitter like changes hashtags around. I think it does damage their brand when like you have two sets of rules that two celebrities are very clearly going against, and then you have a gay conservative journalist say one thing and he's banned.
Yep.
It says a lot when you have a guy like Carl Benjamin who is super popular and brings users to your platform because they want to hear him talk. And you ban him. And people are left wondering why. And then you come up with these bullshit excuses of like, well, he was a serial harasser and he did something wrong and like he bad. And it's like, okay, and you know, you give him a warning. You don't do that. Not a big deal. Like you either, and like there are a myriad of people who there was Kathy Griffin who sat there and said, "I want the Covington kids' names." Okay,
Yep.
you tell me that that's not worse than what 90% of what people have done on that site. You tell me that's not the worst thing. One of the worst, biggest things on that website. And they didn't ban her. Meanwhile, they're saying,
Oh, they didn't do that with a lot of people who related to the Covington kids.
It's like, this is the reason why the United States is a great country and at the simultaneously the worst country in the world. And this is the reason why we have to sit there and we have to say constantly, don't be this. Let me rephrase this. What am I trying to say? Okay. Be the solution that you want to be. Be the solution to the problem and try to fix the problem. If you want to succeed in this world, you have to make solutions. And you have to be willing to talk about the solutions. This is something that I think most of my fellow students at NATE really embody. It is something that I'm super proud of, to sit there and be in a program that is like, I'm not the most progressive individual in the world, but I feel accepted now. And stuff. And, you know, I feel a lot more accepted than when I was leaving NATE the first time. And it's important that we like understand that like not everyone's going to think like you. Okay? Like there are multiple opinions on certain things. There's nothing wrong with having a different opinion. There's a problem when you sit there and you say, let's see kill the Jews. Or let's see kill the white men. And stuff like that. There's a problem when you're
kill the white man like they do in South Africa.
There's a problem when you're doing like when you're calling for genocide. But part of being an adult is having conversations. Part of being an adult is growing up. Part of being an adult is understanding that, you know, part of being an adult is understanding that maybe your way is not the right way. And maybe compromising with somebody is the right way. I had a conversation just today with a communist, and he basically said point blank, he's like, yeah, like I think universal programs would be great. And I said, well, who would pay for them? And he actually said, well, I think corporations should pay for them. I'm like, so do you want to know the problem with that? And he said, yeah, sure. And I just said, Okay, a corporation pays about 90% of our wealth. If you increase the profit margin by 40%, that means that you're cutting into other people's wages and stuff like that. And he actually sat there and listened, and he tried to address he tried to address my comment and stuff like that. And I was just super impressed because of the way he did it. Most of the people in my experience, they don't usually want to do that. They usually want to live in a bubble and stuff like that.
I refuse
And
to
it's
engage.
just amazing because it feels as if like a few years ago, like you would try to have that conversation and they would sit there and fight you tooth and nail and they would say you're wrong. And now they're willing to talk to you about it. And maybe it's just I'm wiser and I'm putting it in a better way. That's probably it. So yeah. Anyways, Alan, Josh, do you have anything else you want to add on to this topic?
Nope.
Can we agree that Twitter's terrible?
Yep. But it's addictive as all fuck.
Oh yeah, well, that's where I get all my shit posts.
That is where you get a lot of your shit posts.
Damn right.
However, I think that's a podcast
I think
for the night.
we are tired, and I think we should go to bed. And I think I have a dog who wants to walk.
Wants to go for a walk.
He wants to go for a walkie.
Time for bed. Oh
All
You
right.
have LOL. You have to play League.
Oh shit, you're right. Fuck.
You said you would.
Have fun with that, fucker. I gave up League a year ago.
I'm such a man because I gave up a video game. I'm so smart.
Oh no, I gave up out of fucking principle because I noticed I would get mad and angry, and I stopped myself one day when I was booting it up, and I was like, "Why do I play this game? I hate myself every time I play this game." And I stopped it. I looked at my screen, and I exited the game and uninstalled it. And I was like, that will never ever go back on this computer.
So you want to know?
So I am taking fuck man. You have no days. There are some days where I see somebody playing League and I start scratching my arm. I want to go. Oh, I want to play it so bad.
You want to know something I did recently that was really hilarious?
Sure.
Okay, so I said I hadn't played League in like 5 years and stuff like that. I downloaded it, played like maybe 4 or 5 matches, and then was just like, okay, I'm done. Like, fuck this game. It's fucking stupid. I don't want to play it again. And then that was like maybe like 2 or 3 months ago.
Yeah.
And then I was like, Noah's like, you want to play League? I'm like, yeah, man. Yeah, I want to play League. We'll play one match. And then like Ben
6
Ben
hours
was
later.
like, I want to play League too. Like, yeah, man. And then Josh was like, yeah, I'll play League. And then Anthony goes, our friend, mutual friend, what should we call him? I'll call him by his scream name, Blackfoot. Yeah, that's his actual fucking name. Blackfoot.
Oh my god damn.
Oh, he was also called Tits McGee.
Yeah.
But he was like, he goes like, oh well, I'll boot up League too, and it was like we had a 5-man, we had some fun. It was okay, we lost, but it was still fun, and I understand where you're coming from. That game is extremely frustrating to play.
No, I had to stop. Like, it was getting to the point where I almost punched my screen several times.
Yeah.
I was like, no, I need to stop, and that's the reason why I refused to go back.
For the most part, I haven't got that mad, although there has been 1 or 2 times where I've been like, oh, I literally can't do anything.
That's no.
The other team is just that buff, and it's like, well,
here's the thing, though, Joss, and I can guarantee you the reason why you've never gotten that mad, and it's actually kind of funny on my part. The reason why I know you've never gotten that mad in game, in comparison to myself, who does get that mad, is because you don't play support as a primary role.
Oh no, I'm support as primary role. You tard. Like straight, I'm that type of dude.
Because that's how I play. I'm a team player. However, I always seem to end up on a fucking retard. Oh, hey, I'm disengaging from the fight. I have no mana. Don't engage. dives in. Fucking damn it.
Allan.
Hey, I stunned the enemy for you. Come engage him. Nope, I'm gonna disengage, and then I get killed. What the fuck?
Allan, you're getting emotional about how a game is stupid and dumb.
I know. I'm venting. And this is the reason. And I'm explaining. This is the reason why I don't play this game no more.
Oh boy.
Anyways, I think that's a
It
podcast
is.
tonight, though.
Oh god.
All right.
I'm looking at plenty of
Every week.
Yeah, so thank you for listening to the Black Mind podcast. I'm pretty sure I'm looking at a dude right now.
No, stop.
Russian.
Get off that site. Cease and desist.
But Allan, I'm lonely, and online dating's not the worst thing in the
No.
world.
Stop.
Allan, I'm pathetic insult.
Look, the only reason why it's called Plenty of Fish, because other people beat the catfish for the other
Right.
fish.
Oh my god.
Alright.
We're done with this podcast. I'm going to bed. I want to sleep.
Hey, thank you for listening to the Black Mind podcast, episode 190. Yes, we've been doing this for 190 episodes.
190 weeks. That's 5
We've
years.
wasted our life. So,
No, 4 years
we've
almost.
done 4 years of this show. Why would anyone listen to us more than one?
Stop fapping. Jesus Christ.
So we've done this. So
Yeah.
we've done it for 190 weeks. Thank you for listening to us. You can listen to us every Thursday on your podcasting app of choice, or if you want, you can watch us on YouTube or other podcasting things. Thank you for listening, and have a good night. Bye. Yeah.
Okay, now I'm recording.
You're not allowed to record, Josh. You're not allowed to record. Stop
Shit.
recording.
Why do you guys sound so quiet on my end? Hold on. Let me do some fiddling. That's why. Okay, now talk again.
Stop being quiet, Josh.
Oh, god damn it, stupid headphones.
Stop.
I have to put myself on mute just so I don't crackle the fuck out of your ears.
Stop it, Josh. Stop.
Okay.
I feel a little bit better this week. I'm going to start with that. Start with the positives.
That is good.
Yeah. If I want to kind of talk a little bit about my mental health this week a little bit, maybe for like 20 minutes. Because
Yeah, sure.
yeah,
Sure.
because like I think it came through on the episode that I wasn't really there per se. And like I should rephrase this by what I'm going to say is like that last week I very visibly had
Need of the break.
yeah, like I don't think everyone knows how hard it is to kind of go back. But like I also don't think that a lot of people understand that like you know like I do this show because it's fun. And I do it because I care. I do it because I like it. I do it because it's fun. And it's very important for me that I have fun, and it's very important for me that, you know, we're talking and stuff like that. Like this is basically my socialization sometimes. For me. Like there are times where like I won't leave the house for a day.
Yeah.
Right? And then we've all done that. And last week I just like 6 classes, not playing games,
Burnout.
Yeah. And last week I just kind of snapped, and I've been having a little bit of an emotional time um, in terms of friends and stuff like that. Like, not even like big things. It's like things like, you know, you think your friendship means something to somebody, and then you feel like you get stabbed in the back. And I'm pretty sure that they don't mean it, but it feels like it.
Yep.
And then you feel as if like you can't tell that person something, or you feel as if that like you're very insignificant and you feel like you're a failure, and then you end up getting yourself into this sort of loop where you're like, well, I feel like I'm a failure, I feel like I'm a failure, I feel like I'm a failure, and that just kind of sticks and stays. And you kind of feel that way. And then you sit and you think about it, and you're like, I'm not that person. I don't want to be that person. I'm not going to be that person. And then you can't spend time doing the things you want to do. Because, like, the good thing about editing the show and stuff like that is, like, I can spend 20 minutes of actual work doing the actual editing of the show. And then, but, like, I listen to the show every week. I go through every single piece because we don't write down timestamps.
No.
No.
No, we don't. Like, that takes more of a conversation. Like, the best shows are the ones where we come in completely unprepared and we're just like, fuck it. And we're just having our conversation and stuff like that. And so last week I just kind of had a mental breakdown.
Yeah.
And, like, it wasn't even the show. It wasn't the show. I know it wasn't the show. It was just everything else on top of everything else. It was fixing a computer, making sure that your classes are good, doing well in school, like fixing somebody's computer, doing this work, constantly dealing with assholes, constantly dealing with people who aren't, like, not being able to be myself.
Yeah.
Really, and feeling like, I have to bottle myself up, keep myself who I am and stuff like that. And it's been rather weird. It's been rather weird since that breakdown, because I just feel as if, like, it feels as if I'm getting a lot of stuff out on the table. And Noah's mentioned to me, like, he said, like, everyone's worried about you because you seem far more ranty than normal. And he's coming from a point of large concern, and rightfully so.
Yeah. Which is fair.
Yeah. And it's like, like, I never really had that support for a lot of my life. Like, especially in high school, it really didn't feel like I could turn to anyone. It really didn't feel like I could.
Yeah.
And now I'm here, and it's like, it's weird. Really weird. And it's different from what you're used to, right?
Yep.
Like, I didn't tell my best friend, I don't think he even knows. I know Noah knows because I told him, and me and him were like beyond best friends. Like, we're basically brothers. But I didn't think I told him, like, when Lisa left. Like, I didn't think I told him when Lisa decided that she wanted to move on on with her life and do something else, and just basically said, "Fuck everyone, I'm out."
Yeah.
And like, it's really weird because you realize that like you're not at this alone anymore, and I want to say to like those people, like I'm super thankful
Yeah.
to have them in my life. Mark, I know that you're not going to listen to the show, but that talk meant a lot to me and stuff like that. Just if something happens and you are going back and stuff like that, or and listening and stuff like that, or if you just want to listen to something, and yeah, um, you know, that conversation that we had in that McDonald's was a very fun one and cool of you to kind of admit that you weren't the best friend. You were there, and you were there. You're here now, where I kind of need you. So, yeah. Also, Allan, Josh,
Hmm.
thank you guys for doing the show with me
No
every
problem.
week, man. Appreciate it. Makes my life a little bit brighter. Probably makes some of your guys' life a little bit brighter too. So appreciate that, guys.
Don't worry.
All right.
No problem at all.
I'm not gonna.
Especially when I get to just shit talk endlessly. It's great.
Yeah. Right.
Depends upon what we're shit talking.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Okay. So should I? I don't know how long have we been recording.
I've got 12 minutes on mine, but I've been recording a little bit beforehand.
Okay. Yeah. I'm sorry for going off on that rant. I just.
It's okay.
That's fine.
That's probably going to be at the end of the episode.
Yeah.
So yeah. Oh, and just so everyone knows, yeah, I'm booking mental. I'm going to talk to a therapist.
Yeah.
Because I don't feel like I'm being myself. I think Allan knows that. I think Josh know that. I don't feel like I'm myself right now. Like I feel like the anger and hatred and rage is coming back, and I don't want that coming back anymore.
Yeah.
I've been through that twice. It wasn't fun the first time. It wasn't fun the second time. Just constantly wanting to fucking kill people wasn't really fun.
Yeah.
So, I'm gonna deal with that. I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna beat this bitch. Because quite frankly, like I've seen what mental health is, and I know what it is. I'm gonna deal with it. I'm gonna deal with it my way. I'm gonna fix it. I'm gonna make myself a little bit stronger. So.
Yeah.
And if anyone's still concerned about me and stuff like that, don't don't be. If you feel concerned and feel the need to reach out, hit my Twitter at Rocky Eagle, Rocky_Eagle, and I'll probably respond to you with a thanks or something like that. If you want, you don't have to. If you feel the need to, make sure I'm okay. Don't feel. Go ahead and do that, because it's probably not going to be the worst thing in the world for you to do. Who knows? It could brighten my day, or it could go, what the fuck, who the fuck are you? Anyways, on to the show.
We need to sync.
Yep, we do. So,
I think so.
sync in 3, 2, 1.